Real Estate and Chill podcast, the newest and coolest podcast. So tune in. Two experts discussing the real estate market. Loan officer James Choudhury and associate real estate broker Kevin Iglesias. Beware, this is not another boring podcast. This right here is the shit you need to hear. Respectfully.
Welcome. All right, welcome back. Episode 3 of Real Estate and Chill.
This is today, $1 million episode.
This is the episode that you've been waiting for.
This is huge.
And I'm so happy we got this, so early onto the show. But yeah, so episode 3 today, we got a very, special guest today. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is James Choudhury. I am a mortgage banker from United Mortgage Corp based out of Woodbury, New York. We got Kevin.
I'm Kevin Iglesias, associate real estate broker with Realty Connect USA. Today, we have our first special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, the big enchilada, the numero uno, el jefe, the man himself, the wolf of real estate, the man himself, broker owner of one of the biggest real estate companies on Long Island, John Fitzgerald.
Thank you for that. I'm looking for my cape. I got it. I didn't know it was going to be like this. Thanks very much, and I appreciate being here. Thanks so much, James, Kevin, for having me here. I'm pretty excited about this whole episode, and love to contribute as much as I can to it.
We're very excited. We're very honored to have you here. So we know you're a busy guy.
From time to time, I get a little busy. Yeah. We have kind of a big population of agents. We have 1,000 agents that are working for us now, and with us, I should say, and it can keep you busy.
Yes. A big special thanks to our sponsors, EPM Real Estate Photography.
Eagle Eyes Home Inspection. Up here?
Yep.
All right.
And Realty Connect. Let's jump right into it. Everybody wants to know, John, how did you start one of the biggest real estate companies on Long Island?
It's a great question. So I actually got a phone call from, there's a couple of partners in the company. I got a phone call from one of the guys that I've known for a long time, worked with. And he said, "You want to have a cup of coffee? I got an idea." I said, "Sure." So this was the idea. And we had the coffee, and we started the formulation of Realty Connect and built it from there. We started in 2009.
Wow.
And it was just an idea, and now it's 17 offices and 1,000 agents. And wow. Last year we did $2.2 billion worth of real estate.
Whoa. $2.2 billion.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
It was a fun number. Yeah. It wasn't all easy to do. It was, there was a lot of challenges and a lot of struggles, but we got some great people working, people like Kevin. We got some great people working with us, and yourself, James. So that always helps, when you surround yourself with great people, because that just makes success happen. And
yeah.
I learned that a long time ago. The best thing you do is hire people that are smarter than you, and then you look really good. And on top of that, you're going to have a successful business.
So why did you guys start the company is one of the biggest questions that people want to know.
That's a great question also. You got good questions.
We're only on question 2.
Have you done this
we
before?
Got like 50 more.
How many? I can't. No. So we started because there was a need for this type of company. The real estate agent was kind of not promoted as the star of the transaction, and that's who they are. They're the ones that really make it happen. And I've always said we give you the tools, the technology, the training, and the techniques, and then we trust your intelligence and your professionalism to go out and do the job. And that's what it's about. And so we wanted to put a company and turn it upside down and work it from the real estate agent on down to the owners as versus to the agents, and then the owners are at the top of the company. And that's the idea. And then we developed a company around what agents wanted, what they needed, aside from the fact that they wanted most of the money, and we gave it to them.
So that's funny you bring that up, because people always ask, why 90%?
Because you guys are worth it. You do 90% of the work. That's not true. I had to say it. No, no. The agent does so much, and they're so important in the transaction, and they should be appreciated. And they should have the kind of income that they need to invest in real estate, take care of their families, build a portfolio. So we knew that eventually, if we did it right, we'd make money also, and we do, thank God. But we wanted the agents to really be successful right out of the gate and stay successful throughout their entire career with us.
Awesome. I mean, that's such a an excellent model. I mean, not a lot of companies put their spotlight on the agent, like you said. So it's an awesome company. I can speak from experience, and I love what you built. I love what you guys stand on. You know, just over a cup of coffee. That's amazing. I gotta have a cup of coffee now.
I'll tell you. Wait. No.
What was in that coffee?
Actually, a couple of $1 million.
So, a lot of agents always ask me, why Realty Connect? Why should an agent join Realty Connect?
I think for some of the reasons we just talked about,
Yeah.
that's really important. And the fact that, we put the agent first. So we're going to build a portfolio. We're going to take care of that agent and make sure they're successful. I really don't want anybody to take on a career and not be successful at it. I always say that if you entrust your livelihood to us, we won't take that trust lightly. That's important. So coming to Realty Connect, you'll get the tools, you'll get the training, you'll get websites, you'll get everything you need, and then you'll get support to make sure that you build a successful business. And that's what real estate is. It's not about doing a deal. It's about building a successful business for yourself.
I found that really interesting because, looking from an outside perspective, because clearly I'm not a realtor, but, from seeing it from an outside perspective, it's very interesting because a lot of the times when, you're cutting your margins so thin and you're taking 10%, leaving 90% on the table, right? There's only so much you can do, to help out the realtor. But, from what I've seen, from my experience working with Kevin and other Realty Connect agents, you offer so much to the agent. And it boggles my mind on how you can do that much while only taking a little bit, from the piece. Yeah. So that's crazy.
Well, I don't pay the help. No. So we're actually putting in new systems. We really analyze. Biggest thing for us is most companies have great technology, but the adoption rate by the agents is probably about 14 to 16%. About 14 to 60% of the agents actually use the technology because it's so complicated, so difficult to use, that they don't touch on it, and it doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. So we built systems that were easy to use. We didn't spend hundreds of millions of dollars on technology because nobody's using it anyway. We built streamlined, very productive systems, beautiful websites, and things that agents use and function well within their needs so that they can go out and do a good job. And it's worked really, really well as far as that goes. So, giving the 90% away is not a problem. It really isn't. And my job basically is to look out, see the future of real estate, and get there before anyone else and bring that to the agents. So we do that with technology too. We try and find the best technology that's going to work for them and then get it to them as quick as we can.
Wow. And again, I can attest to that. I mean, the technology at the company, it's amazing. Not only that, but we have the broker owner on our podcast. I mean, that just shows you how much he supports his agents and really stands behind them. So that's amazing. I appreciate you being here. We really do. We're very honored.
I'm happy to be here. This is
and supporting
great.
Me too.
What were your thoughts when COVID first hit us? Because a lot of agents freaked out. A lot of agents just stopped doing business, or they went the other route and they just did a ton of business. What were your thoughts, when COVID first hit us? What was going on in your mind?
Well, the really cool thing there was nothing cool about COVID. I shouldn't say it that way. The really interesting thing is we had already developed all of our training where it was you were able to take it wherever you were. You could take it on your phone, you could be in Starbucks and the training. And you would be interacting. You would be in the class live, listening, asking questions, talking to the instructors. And so that part of it was easy to shift over because we already had it in place. Looking at how the market was reacting to it, we just had to put more technology in and be safer and better at what we do, but not stop doing what we did. So set up platforms for everybody to work at home. We had Zoom calls at 9 a.m. every morning and at 4 o'clock every afternoon with the staff, what we were doing, what we wanted to do, how we were going to do it. And then I set out from there, and I'm still doing it, is the plan for after COVID. So we already put the plan in place for COVID. Mm-hmm. Now we needed a plan after. What's the market going to look like? What's going to happen? And how are we going to be ready for that? And thankfully, actually, we had a better year in 2020 than in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, real estate, a lot of people thought the market was going to crash, with COVID hitting us, but it just did the total opposite. I can just speak from experience. My business, skyrocketed in 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm just blessed to be at one of the best companies on Long Island. The best company.
There you go. I would have corrected you if you didn't. It's okay.
You weren't gonna sign
I was
my
ready,
check.
you know. It really is a good place. But, right now, I think one of the reasons real estate skyrocketed, too, is we had an influx of people from Manhattan. It's not unusual that we get that every year, but I think we got about 3 years worth of people in 1 year because they wanted to get away and find a place, where there was, Maslow's rule of, needs is safety and security, is one of the hierarchy of needs. So people wanted a place they could call safe and be comfortable in and lock the door and say, we're okay. And so a home was just that. So a lot of people rushed to buy it that would have bought it over the next 3 years, but they wanted it now.
Yeah,
which
is true.
That changed the market. And it brought up people with large incomes coming into our marketplace who were willing to spend more, and you would know this, because the rates were so low.
Exactly.
So your monthly payment didn't go up dramatically if you added $50,000 to your mortgage. And so people would, and you have somebody comes out from Manhattan, they're living in a one-bedroom
shoebox,
small house, 600 square foot apartment, and now almost for the same amount of money, they can be living in a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath colonial. It just became a great move for them to make. So we saw a lot of activity in the marketplace because of that.
In 2020, I sold 11 houses for cash. So it was one of the biggest years.
Amazing, isn't it?
It's insane. I've never seen that many cash deals.
I don't like that so much.
James, please exit the door. But it's one of the best companies to be at. And I remember when we first spoke, I said, John, I want to have you on the podcast because I'm getting so many companies that want to recruit me, and I turned them down, obviously.
Oh, thank you. But I actually have another I'm leaving in 5 minutes. Thanks for having me with the company. This is my exit interview.
But a lot of agents, and I guess, the competition puts that rumor out there that we don't do any training, which is completely 100% false. I've been to so many training classes with you, and every time you speak, I feel like I just learned something new. And it makes my business just increase.
That's the point. And we do a lot of training.
A lot of training.
A lot. We do, and we do current training. We don't publish a calendar a year ahead, and then stick to the calendar. We do our training calendar every 3 months, and it gets additions to it and changes to it based on what's happening in the market. So we're doing analytics. We're studying the market. We're seeing where it's going, where it should be in the next 6 months, and we start to train towards that market as opposed to just doing the same old kind of repetitive training. Well, this year we got to train on expired listings again, and this year we got to train on this again. We want to train on what's current and what's trending in the market so that the agents are on top of that. And that works really well for us. Yeah,
it definitely does. We're always one step ahead of the competition, and like I said, the knowledge is it's priceless. I can say that.
You're saying I'm old? And I've heard this comment before. These old guys know their stuff, man.
So the company was started 12 years ago, 12 years young. How old were you when you guys started the company?
He went right to it, didn't he? This question. He went right to it. It's amazing. If I tell you, my wife will know. I've been lying for years. Come on. Truth? And I don't think anybody knows this, actually. I was 60 when I started the company.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
that's what happens when you're old.
I wish.
No, it's the worst thing. I gotta say, this is great. It's like
I hope I have your
people
hair.
say, "How old are you?" And you tell them, and they go, "Wow." And you're still breathing. Come on. Yeah.
But that just goes to show you can do anything you want as long as you have that mindset. Doesn't matter where you come from, how old you are, any background. If you have something in mind, you just put into effect. You can do anything.
Yeah. I've never paid attention to age or anything like that, or
Well, you look good for your age.
Thank you. But you just look at what you want to do, and you go and do it. And that's it. And so I've always looked at it that way, and it's worked so far. Thank God.
Is it safe to say when you guys first started Realty Connect that you guys disrupted the market? Because that commission split, I've never seen it before.
Oh, big time. Yeah. It was interesting. They called us the disruptors, actually. So they said we wouldn't last for 6 months. And then a year later, they said they will never last for 2 years. And I haven't heard the latest recording, but I'm sure they're still saying something about us. Yeah, but they thought that we couldn't sustain the model the way it was and we couldn't make it work. But we'd already calculated that out and figured out how it would work and how it would get better and keep growing. And it has. But a lot of companies, I would say there's a lot of great companies out there. We're by no means the greatest company out there, but almost. But there's a lot of companies out there, and the bigger companies have a very difficult time adjusting to the market. It's like if you want to turn the Queen Mary around, you need 15 tugboats, and you got to go like this. And if you want to make a decision in our company, you just do it and you start doing it and you make it happen. You don't have to go to a corporate level where it takes 6 months to get a board decision. And then by the time you implement that decision in today's world, you don't need it anymore because things have changed so much that we're onto something else. So
how many offices do we currently have? And where you own the company, there's no franchises, correct? It's just...
No, we're not a franchise.
Okay.
We own everything, and there are currently 16, but I said 17 earlier for a reason. So,
ooh, exclusive.
Okay.
Exclusive.
yeah, we have some new stuff coming up, and also we're expanding the office that we're in Hauppauge, our regional office. We're expanding now too. So, we just took some space next door for private offices for teams and things like
nice.
that. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Yeah.
That is
So that is an exclusive. And then there's another one that's going to open soon. So.
All right, we got some. All right, we have reasons
some
for
tea.
people to watch the show now.
Any secrets you want to give us out?
I would say I like it out east.
Does that mean we're going to the Hamptons?
I just say I like it out east.
But I could just say this from experience. I mean, when I started at the company, and I touched base on this in a couple episodes, I didn't know anything about real estate. And I didn't own a suit. I didn't know how to tie a tie. I still don't.
I still don't either.
John forgot his tie.
They didn't tell me. They just said, show up. I didn't even know I was going to be on camera.
But just so much training with the company and just having that right guidance. And you're always accessible. I mean, you're always in the office. If I have a question, I could just knock on your door. You tell me, get out of here. No, but seriously, you're always accessible. And it's just the best company to be at.
Well, thank you.
I grew
Thank
so
you.
much. And just seeing so many people win awards, it just motivates you. You want to do better. You want to be at that level. And you want to be recognized, you know. You want to become a top producer. And,
Yeah.
you know.
And you've done that.
Yes.
Really done.
Yes.
Really, really
What about
well.
me? No, so
I don't even know why you're here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting here. I'm just learning. But
Let's talk to James.
so I have a question. From what you've already said, it seems obvious that, you see the day to day of a lot of realtors on scene. You know a lot about them. You're very close with them. So what's something that you can, say about the top producing agents at your company? How have they found success? And, what skills of theirs, lead to success?
That's a good question. I say that all the time, right? No, we do. I think top producers have a certain level of energy. And something you said, actually, which has led you to being a top producer, is that, you just have that drive, that desire. You're not going to let anything stop you from doing what you want to do. You might have some bumps in the road and some roadblocks, but nothing that's going to make you turn around and say, I'm not going to do this,
Yeah.
And then we have programs for top producing agents and when to hire an assistant, when to move your business to the next level, when to get another agent or two to join your team to help you do better, what technology you might implement to make your business better. So it's a build, and if you try to build it too quick, it gets difficult. But if you build it too slow, you have to just kind of have that perfect steady stream and keep building and building and building and never look back and never think you can't do it. And that's a top producer mindset, They're going to put a deal. There's a saying that you don't go to the table hoping to put a deal together. You bring the deal with you. You know what you're going to do at that table and you're going to make that deal happen. I've always lived my life, but a similar saying is that, you don't go out in the world and look for happiness. you bring happiness with you wherever you go.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so that makes life better, you know. It just
Yeah.
makes you get up in the morning and say, I'm going to be happy today. Because people say that, how come you're so happy? So I chose to be happy today, you know. And if you have a mindset that allows you to do that, then nothing really can get in the way, you know.
So yeah, mindset is the biggest thing. Again, what would be your, I guess, advice to those agents who want to become a top producer, who are not at that level, and are striving to become a top producer? What can you tell them? What can they do differently to become a top producer?
Network with top producers.
So rub shoulders with top producers.
Yeah, talk to people who are doing really, really well. Find out what they're doing, how they're doing it, what's going on in their life, and buy them dinner, buy them a cup of coffee.
I like steak.
Yeah. Kevin's available on Tuesday nights for steak dinner and top producer counseling. Yeah, you gotta. They say if you want to be a millionaire, you have to hang around with millionaires.
That's true.
So that you actually can, accomplish the task. So that doesn't mean you'll have to hang around with them every day or every second, but at least maybe once a month you could get a dinner or a meeting or a drink with somebody and just talk about it.
We got to take him out to eat.
Yeah.
Let's go golfing.
This is something you
Do you
heard it from
golf?
John.
No, but I've been
You just want to go. Let's go fishing. We won't bring bait.
So you heard it from John. You have to rub shoulders with top producers. We have a top producer on the show, so watch our show.
There you go. Yeah, you learn a lot from Kevin. Actually, the great thing is that you learn something from everybody you meet. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing something or how good you are at it or think you are. I get that way. I'm sorry. But you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to learn something from everybody you meet. I just met this young guy. How old are you? 20-year-old. I
Mike.
bet you
Wow.
I could learn a ton from Mike.
Oh,
Because
Mike's the man.
I don't know half of what he knows. And maybe it's technology, maybe it's not. But if you're acting like you're so special and so important, then you don't have to listen to someone else or a 20-year-old guy and or a gal. I mean, that's where you're missing the boat. That's where you're losing the edge to make you better at what you do.
And that's very true. I mean, we can't know it all. I'm always open ears to new information, new knowledge, because real estate, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Something new you can learn every day. But yes, big shout out to Mike. He's our editor.
Yeah.
He's the star of the show. He's behind
Mike.
the scenes
We didn't show his face last time.
for a reason, because then they'll steal him from us. So.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
We can't show him.
Keep Mike a secret.
Mike is here held hostage. The door is locked, literally.
You'll always find him here. He's locked up in the back.
Don't look for Mike. But can you give us some stories of like your heyday? When you were an agent, like how did you build your business foundation?
Wow, that's interesting. Let's see. When I started in the business, I had a pickup truck actually, and back then, we used to have to take people in our cars. It wasn't like now they follow you in their car, and so putting people in the back of the pickup truck, rain, windy, cold. What? No, we'll be there soon. There's an umbrella back there. So. I was trying to get into the business. So I didn't have a lot of money to do that. I was a delicatessen clerk before that. That's what I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I wanted to move up into something else, and I was trying to get into the business. So I finally got in, and eventually I bought a car. But when I started, I had a pickup truck, and we didn't have GPS or any of that cool stuff you have now. We had
You
that
had maps?
Hagstrom map.
It was
So now you're driving in a pickup truck, and the thing's flapping around. And I'm giving the client, the map and telling him, just show me when I'm on that yellow line. That's my highlighter. I have my own highlighter here.
Do you want this house or not?
And so you'd get lost, and it was a lot of fun back then. But it got me going, and it was a business that really I felt good about. I loved it. I really loved it. And after you sell that first house, which by the way, my first sale was $23,500. The house, yeah, and you see the expression on the people's face.
Yeah, it's an awesome
that
feeling.
you just help them accomplish a dream, like something they really want. You go, I love this business. This is it, man. I'm in. I'm all in. I'm doing it. And that was kind of the start. Then eventually, when I started to make some money, I actually got into the bank foreclosure business, and that was a fun trip. I couldn't get a connection, so I flew to Texas and I sat in the lobby of a bank until someone would see me. That took about 2.5 hours. And the security guard told me, "You're going to have to leave, sir." But anyway, that worked out, and I was selling about 125, 135 houses a year.
Wow.
Foreclosures, just strictly
Mixed in foreclosures
mixed in?
and that, yeah. And I built a team of 5 people to work with me. So
Wow. That's amazing. I just want to highlight that. So you flew from New York to Texas.
all the banks were in Texas.
All the banks were
Fannie
in
Mae,
Texas.
Freddie Mac, EMC, everybody was in Texas. So if
And
you
you
wanted to
had-
do business, you had to.
You had
see somebody.
no appointment.
No, I tried. They didn't want to see me. So I thought maybe if I was there, they wouldn't kick me out. I was wrong.
But that drive, I mean, that's something, and we speak about this all the time on the show. You have to go above and beyond, right? You have to do things differently. You have to do things that people aren't willing to do to become a top producer or be successful in life.
Yeah, you give it your best shot, and if it doesn't work, that's okay.
I'm gonna tell my wife I'm going to Texas and see what she says. Well, John told me.
I have an appointment. I'll be back in 3
I'm gonna call
weeks.
John. John, can I sleep on your couch?
They actually gave me 5 co-ops to sell in Brooklyn that they couldn't sell after a long conversation. And, they said, if you could sell these, you're on board.
Wow.
So I said, okay, great. No problem. And then I left and I said, where's Brooklyn?
Oh man.
But it worked. We made it happen. We sold the 5 co-ops and that was it.
Wow, that's
the way.
amazing.
Yeah.
So you were in the business when the market crashed in 2008.
Oh, yeah.
How was that? I mean, they were giving pre-approvals to just anybody.
Don't look at me. I wasn't around at that time.
You were still.
I actually have one here still. In case I need it later, I'm going to. Yeah, they pretty much, look, the market crashed itself because, Wall Street got involved in the banking business, and it looked like it was a great thing. They were stamping, AAA paper on C notes and selling it off at the highest possible prices. I mean, everybody knows what happened. It's no secret. And so it had to crash. There was no opportunity. But, it's not like that now. I don't think we'd see a crash now, even if the market started to change or fluctuate or interest rates went up or down, because the economy is much more stable than it was at that point in time. And I wouldn't think it would be a whole market crash or anything. But, I was in the business. It was interesting back then, I was in the business when the interest rates were like 16%, though, way back in the day. And,
Wow.
a car would pull up in front of the office and they would come in. They would be asking for directions. Can you tell me where the restaurant is? Nobody was buying a house, though.
Every single time I have a client, arguing with me about rate, I'm going to bring John aboard. He's going to let him know 16%. Does you want that?
And I have the pre-approval with me.
That's amazing. I mean, just to hear that story, I didn't know that you were, delicatessen clerk.
Yeah.
Driving a pickup. Now he's got a Ferrari out back.
No, I don't.
But that's amazing. I mean, just there's so much knowledge that we can learn from you. And when we announced that we were shooting this episode, everybody was contacting us and just so excited to hear this story and to hear from you.
No, that's great. They're disappointed now, but at least
Next episode.
we'll get a better broker.
What's the future for Realty Connect? What are our goals?
Oh, we're going to keep growing. We put 30 people on in the last 2 months. We added 30 agents to the portfolio in the last, I couldn't call it a portfolio, to the team in the last 2 months. We're going to keep growing. We're going to open more offices. Eventually, maybe we'll open in other states. Eventually, we'll get a guy like you to replace me to run the company, and just keep getting bigger and better at what we do, And the best thing about the company is we're going to keep offering opportunities to people that are with us to grow with us and create new businesses with us.
Just a roundabout, how many agents do we currently have at Realty Connect?
It's about 1,000 now.
About 1,000 now?
Yeah, maybe a little more after the last 2 months, but right around there.
So, I mean, I can only imagine how your phone looks. Like the other day, I put my phone down for 2 hours. I had over 80
Doesn't work, does it?
messages.
2 hours without your phone, it's all over.
How do you time manage that? Because that's one of the most stressful things for me. Just doing so much volume in business is just time and getting back to everybody. But I can imagine how your phone looks. What do you do to time manage?
I stay on the phone all day and all night, pretty much. There's not much you can do. Last night, I finished up about 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. with somebody because there was a deal going on. I try to make sure that everybody who needs information that's going to be for a customer or a client, or to keep a deal together, put a deal together, gets a return call. If somebody's calling me up and they want to talk about, something that's not necessary for that day, like it's not going to change their world, then that call can go to tomorrow maybe. But if it's somebody who really needs something, I'm going to get back to them as quick as I can. Yeah. What I try to do also is sort of get to the point. Sometimes people start telling you about, I was on the way to the office and there was a red light and I stopped for the red light and then it turned green but I didn't go, so I hit another red light and just come on, give me the point, I'll help you with the deal.
But that's, you're always there. If somebody has a question, they could just easily call you and you're very accessible.
24/7, yeah. It's just the phone's on, and that's it. But that's one of the key points to keeping everybody else successful, is to being able to give them the information they need when they need it. The kind of world we live in, it's like you have about a nanosecond to answer somebody, and if you don't, then they're Googling or trying to find somebody else who can answer the question. There's no patience left in the world whatsoever, zero. So you got to be there for people. Yeah,
definitely. Another question that people want me to ask.
Are there a lot of questions? Ask James a question, for God's sake.
We're only talking about you today.
The spotlight's on you. Again, James is just here to fill the seat.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Mom.
I think you should ask him this question because it popped up on your questionnaire. It was with the Z, the big question that everybody wants to know.
All right. So we have something very important. So you are the owner of a brokerage, right? Mm-hmm. So we are clearly seeing, with technology, things are moving. And we have a company like Zillow, trying to attack different markets, trying to get into different states, trying to get into different markets. So do you see Zillow as a threat? Do you think that they can, gain some market share in the Long Island area, or are you not worried about them?
I'm not worried about them.
You heard it here. He does not care about you, Zillow. You will not stop us.
Traders.
Try never to worry, but look, Zillow's a $100 billion kind of company, so you really don't stop companies like that. You find a way to work within those companies that's a benefit to you, so that you can use what they're doing to your advantage and create business from what they do. Zillow is not a boots on the ground kind of company. They're not about to send agents out and start doing business that way. It's not what they want to do. They work on algorithms and data. That's all they care mostly about.
Yeah.
They've stated quite clearly they bought a mortgage company. They would make more money using that mortgage company. And, but it's for their own, like they have this iBuyer campaign now where they're buying houses and fixing them and flipping them. It hasn't made any money yet, but a lot of things Zillow didn't make money for the first 10 years or so, but now they're starting to, of course, see benefits in what they're doing. But everything in New York, New York real estate is so different than anywhere else you go. Yeah. Anywhere you go.
It's true.
Yeah.
We have like the craziest kind of market. So in Phoenix, Arizona, or in Las Vegas, where there are these developments and all the houses are the same, Zillow can buy those houses and fix them up and sell them, and not have to worry about COs and easements and the things that happen here in New York and different town codes and things like that. They don't really, I think, want to invest in a market like ours. It's too difficult for them to control that environment. Buy a house from an iBuyer, find out they can't sell it, find out it doesn't have COs for this and it doesn't have that. So they say if you can do New York real estate, you can do real estate anywhere. We probably have one of the most difficult markets to work in.
And it's extremely competitive. Yeah. I mean, it's so competitive.
So I don't see a big company like that saying, let's go to the most difficult market there is to work in. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. There's also another company called Open Door Technologies. It's a recent company that just kind of fruitioned. So basically what their ideal is that they want to take realtors completely out of the picture. So what they want to do is they say, all right, let me take a look at your house. We're going to offer a 5% commission. We're going to send you directly to another buyer, and then we're going to take care of the whole transaction. So they're kind of avoiding the personal touch that goes along with real estate. So how important do you think the personal touch is? You know, having somebody who you can call 24/7, making sure that everything is going smoothly. You know, how important do you think that is to the whole, transaction that a client might go through?
Well, I personally think it's huge.
It is huge.
In any industry, we live in the biggest do-it-yourself world there is. I mean, people get sick, they look up how to cure themselves on the internet. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So the idea is, yeah, really, it didn't make it. Well, it's James here.
James' main Google search is, how do I become cuter?
We going down that road.
Kevin's main search: how do I get taller? I had to throw a shot back.
And I'm searching now. What am I doing here?
Oh, that was good. That was good.
So, there's always going to be like a for sale by owner. Is a for sale by owner, but
Right.
they're only about 6% of our market. So will Zillow be successful in doing certain things? Or will Open Door be successful in doing certain things? Yes. But will they all of a sudden own the entire world of real estate? No, not happening.
Yeah.
So different companies have come in, taken different pieces of the market. Some have stayed, some have failed, some have moved on. There's always going to, even if a real estate company or real estate agent owns 15, 16, 20% of the market, that still leaves 80%.
Yeah.
Okay, so am I worried about that? No. Will I keep my eye on it? Yes, but I'm not worried about it. I think we're going to be, outperforming last year, this year, and we're going to continue to grow like that. And if you look at things in a worrisome way, instead of how can I make this work for me? How can I find out what they're doing and make it work for me? If you look at it in a worrisome way, then it's just going to take you down, even if nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Like, I was so worried about it, I quit. Doesn't make sense.
We've also seen this before,
Yeah.
the rise and fall of these companies like Purple Bricks, for example.
Yeah, Purple Bricks came here and like a firestorm.
Everybody was worried about it.
They started in England and came here like crazy, and then all of a sudden disappeared. YHD was here.
I never heard of them.
YHD was a 1% commission company, had cars that they painted and drove around in, and everybody went, oh, we're all out of business, and we're not. So will Zillow and Open Door and everybody have a little piece in the market? Sure they will, but that's okay.
Oh.
What can you tell us now? You went to Texas, right? Is there anything else that you've done in your career starting up, like crazy stories?
Oh, crazy stories.
Yeah, we want to hear.
Yeah, I want to hear something like this.
Well, I guess there's a lot of them, but I can't remember all that. But being in the industry in the foreclosure business, there's a ton of stories that would come out of that. Some I can tell you, and some I can't, I guess. But once we were doing a trash out in a Kew Gardens co-op, I think it was, and so it's on the fifth floor, and my trash out guy decides he's going to save time. And so he's rolling these, they had these carpets, and he's cutting them and rolling them up, and he tosses it off the balcony, down so that to go into the truck. And
Hey, watch out!
Even worse, the lady who lived below saw this thing come by and called the police that somebody just committed suicide. They just jumped off. So that was an interesting one, But I bought the co-op managing guy a quart of scotch, and
Wow.
we still were able to sell the property, So.
I think there's so many behind the scenes that people don't see, and we touch base on this all the time. People think that real estate is so easy, but it's not. There's so much work that goes behind it. There's a lot of stress. What is something that you do to relieve your stress?
Relieve stress. Well, I'll leave that out. I don't think this is on the question list. But let me look. I think it's really just screwed up. Okay. I play golf, basketball. Yes, basketball, that's right. Which I haven't been able to play in a year and a half, unfortunately, because of the pandemic. They closed our gyms that we used to play. But I've been playing basketball with the same guys for 15 years. Golf, sports is big for me.
Do they let you win, or you're pretty good?
No, I'm on the bench.
Here, guys, more water.
Thanks for coming.
That was a great game.
That little guy runs around really well. Yeah. No, actually, I play decent, I guess, because they haven't kicked me out of the gym yet. So, and I'm in every game, so I guess that means something. But, I like sports pretty much. Fast cars. I used to race cars, so
Oh,
anything,
really?
yeah.
Any specific car you love the most?
No, I just like if it's fast and handles well and all that stuff. I have a car now that's actually I have a 2003 Cobra. It's about 600 horsepower, and that thing's fun to drive.
Do you want to race me? No, I'm just joking.
I got a smart car.
You do what you can to keep yourself sane. But what you said was really important to add on to it is you're in real estate and your business too, no doubt. Part of our job is to manage emotions. And that is probably the most difficult thing we do. You can figure out the math. You can figure out the transaction. You know that what a CO looks like and a deed looks like and how to get things done at the town and what a blueprint looks like. But managing people's emotions, that takes a lot of work.
It is. Sometimes I feel like I'm a therapist.
You are. You are.
Because I just hear people, they vent to you, and you have to be that shoulder to lean on. So it goes beyond real estate. It really does.
Yeah, and it's really important because this is probably the single largest investment of anybody's lifetime. This is it. And it's such a big decision for them. And once they commit to that decision, then they go home and they have that buyer's remorse. Did we make the right decision? Did we do the right thing? And then they're going to call up and say, what about this? What about that? So you kind of manage that all through. But the thing is you can never sell somebody something they don't want. It doesn't happen. I don't care who people say, I sold them that. You didn't sell
Refund.
them anything. They wanted the house. And all you did was guide them through the process, convince them it was the right move. And I have never been associated with anyone that purchased a home for their family and was unhappy after they did that. It's always a good feeling. It's always a great thing. So it's for us to manage the expectations, the emotions, make the deal as smooth as we can for them so that, it's an enjoyable process. It shouldn't be a stressful process for the people purchasing the house, We take the stress off their back.
Yeah.
And you do the same. And
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it was like for you. I said this to someone else. I go, how many phone calls did you get when the rates went up?
Oh man, a lot of angry people.
And just the way he said it, he goes, oh.
This
Who popped
is
that balloon?
James, I hate you. You lied to me.
Yeah.
Why didn't you know rates were going up? How if I could tell you if the rates were going up, I would not be doing mortgages.
You should
I'd
bet
be
on
doing
these
something
numbers
else.
tonight.
Exactly. So then you have to make all those phone calls.
Exactly.
Even to the people, because some people didn't know they went up. And you have to go, guess what?
That's like when we make an offer now, and then you get that call. Hey, we chose another buyer.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
not that one. Yeah.
Now I got to make that call.
I think it's important that, as you're going through this, stage where rates are starting to rise up, if you're purchasing and we have, we're good to lock, we're always making sure that we can lock you in as low as possible. But, in a situation where it's a refinance and somebody was at a lower rate than they are now, as long as they're still making money, it's still making sense, we're good. But people, some people are at like 5%, like, 4.5 to 5% rates. So, this shift upwards is not going to make or break the deal. Obviously they're unhappy with it, but it's not something that's going to destroy the deal completely because they're still going to be saving a lot of money.
Yeah.
So quick question, and I put a lot of stress on myself because when you win these achievements, right, at the awards, it's like, I'm telling you, it's like, if you ever came to one of our meetings, it's like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I tell him he's like the Wolf of Wall Street when he's giving his speech.
I don't know. I listened to that speech. I was a little. I
Minus
remember
all-
talking like that.
But it's so motivational that it gets you pumped. Like, all right, I want to go sell a house now, But an agent, how many homes should they feel at that point where, all right, I feel successful? Because my biggest problem is I do so many deals, but I'm like, all right, I can do better. I can sell more. I can double my numbers.
Mm-hmm.
What advice could you give somebody like myself and somebody who thinks in that mindset? Because that's what gets me working nonstop. I could get a listing. I could get 3 listings today. I'm like, but I could have got 5. And that's something that just keeps me going and going and going and going and going.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah, that was my next question too. I was like, how do you measure success? Kevin stole it from me.
I'm doing that all along. So later he asked me a question. I go, that's not a good question.
You're fired.
All right, I'm sorry.
So every year, every single top producer in the business since I've been in the business says, how am I going to do this again next year? That's the first thing they say.
I know. That's what I...
how am I going to repeat this? I sold 52 homes. How am I going to sell 52 homes again next year? And how am I going to make the income I made? And it's everybody who does that, and they put that stress on themselves, you know. And I never, I guess money was a secondary thought in every business that I've done. And what I always said is, if you do a good job, because there's no quality of service in the world. If you give people what they expect and in good quality, they'll throw money at you. They can't wait to do business with you. And so it's like a snowball rolling down a hill. All the referrals you're going to get, because I know you and I know how you operate in the business and I know how well you do it, people are just going to keep referring you. So you sold 53 houses this year, let's say, and I'm not sure, it could be many more than that. You'd have to ask the broker. Oh, wait. No, but it could be many more than that. The idea is those folks that you did business with will be referring you more and more business. So you're going to create the new activity in your business that you always wanted to do, and you're going to have this bank of referrals coming in from people that you helped and did the right thing. So stay in touch with those folks. Take care of them. If something comes up that you think is beneficial to them, make sure that they know about it in the communities or whatever it might be, changes in whatever taxes or something that you can help them with, and just keep that referral base going. Will you continue to help new customers and clients, and your business is going to grow. It's just going to grow, you know. And then add people when you need them. Don't wait. People don't add people soon enough to their business. Like, you know, you need an assistant, or you know you need another agent to help on your team, and you kind of stretch it out because you don't want to spend the money to do that. It's not a good. What you want to do is spend the money, and then you'll have the time to really, really increase your business and a lot less stress on you while you're doing it. So that's the best advice I can give somebody who's a top producing agent, you know.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that you touched base on in that is for me, it's not about the money. I'm just so addicted to real estate that it's the volume that I get addicted to. So if I sold, 40 homes one year, my goal is I want to double that or come close to that the next year, and I just keep working and working and working. You know, the money's great. It's
That's
90%.
fantastic. Yeah.
But it's just the volume that just keeps me going and going and going.
Yeah, and you'll do that. You'll do that because you have that personality. You are that person. You have that drive behind you, and you'll do it. You'll make it happen. So all I could say is don't worry about it, you know, because I've never worried myself rich. It doesn't happen, you know. So what you want to do is just focus on being better and doing things the way you want to get them done, and make sure that you deliver that product to that consumer, and you're good. You're golden.
I think it's so important that, you know, people say like, oh, you can only be doing real estate for, you know, because you want to help other people. It can't be for the money. But I feel like it could be both. Like, obviously we are entrepreneurs in the sense that, we're seeing how far we can go with a certain skill that we have. But in the process, we're helping people, and we're helping them make some of the biggest transactions they'll ever make in their lives. So, it's not a bad thing to do both. It's not a bad thing to want both.
No,
so.
You should make money, absolutely, yeah. But you shouldn't make it if you're not doing the right job.
Agreed.
That's the key.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And again, just touching. So we have that mentor program at Realty Connect, and where we help new agents, who need that guidance and that training. And I'm training this one rock star, Sarah Fox, whose name is going to blow up soon. You've spoken to her.
Yeah.
Just her confidence, her personality it's off the wall. Yeah. And she has done more. She's doing more than 10 deals, and we have so many deals that are coming up. I'm so excited for. But like you said, you need to work with people who are on the same level and want to grow. I think one thing that you can't teach an agent is hunger and hustle. You can't give that to them. It's something that they're going to have to come up with on their own. I can show you, or John can show me all the tools, but if that hunger and that hustle is not inside of me, it's not going to generate anything. And I see it, with people that I try to train. I don't see it in them, and it's like, it's frustrating because I can see how great you can be, but you're not doing it. And then other people, you train them, it's like, they just blow up.
You can't want it more than them.
I know.
That's the problem.
I know.
And Sarah Fox, you heard it first right here, is our newsletter as the rising star for Realty Connect.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
the next newsletter that comes out, Sarah, make sure you get a copy.
$10.99 a month. Okay, subscribe.
No, I think what you said like really is important, because I had this, all right, a little sidetrack, but not super sidetrack. But I was literally talking to my dad about this yesterday, and he was just like, okay, why is I was just like, it was an argument between like lions versus gorillas. All right, it'll make sense. I actually posted this on my Instagram story yesterday because, all right, don't worry, it'll connect. But the one thing that he was saying
Who's buying homes?
all right, don't worry, it'll connect. It'll connect.
Gorillas, no lions.
It'll connect. So basically, the point was like we were talking about it. He was like, "Oh, a gorilla would beat a lion, but a lion goes in packs." So the reason why the lion is called the king of the jungle is because of their mindset and how they move. So a lion by itself might not be able to, defeat a gorilla or some big creature, whatever it is. But if a lion's together because they move in packs, they can get that job done easily. And I think Kevin has a great example of that, and you as well, obviously, with what you've created. That it's super important, who you surround yourself with. That you can get to your goals. I told you it would connect, right? That was a little deep, right?
I like the word connect. Realty Connect.
Oh, Realty Connect.
You lost me in the gorilla and lions.
Yeah, but there was
We
a
got
purpose
the animal
behind it.
activist after us now. And, we're eating gorillas on this show.
We're
No,
selling
that's
houses.
a good story. That really is a good analogy. It is.
Yeah.
Having surrounding yourself with
You can
a
tell
group
them
of
the
people,
truth.
you can make it happen.
I mean,
No,
it
I
wasn't-
did.
Yo, come on! I thought of this on my way here. I was like, you know what? That's actually what the art.
I'm
That's what it
using
meant.
that one. I'm writing it down.
Next meeting, he's gonna say gorillas and lions. I'll be like, I've heard that before.
The next guest will be a gorilla.
Fight to the death.
Is there anything that you want to leave off, to agents, or give any advice? Anything that we can, motivate that agent who's not doing as much business as they should, or any tips? Anything that because as an agent, we all go through struggles, right? I go through stress, like, this is hard, it's too difficult. But the thing is, with us, we didn't give up. We just used those struggles to motivate us and to hustle harder. Is there anything that you can say? Because, I mean, going from a delicatessen clerk, driving the pickup truck with no GPS, black and white TVs, the rollout.
TV.
Etch a sketch. What can you say? Because you've come such a long way, and we're so honored to have you here. You've taken so much time out of your day. I can only imagine what your phone looks like. Anything that you can say to motivate that agent that wants to do more business?
No. All right, I'm kidding. That's a good question. Listen, there's, motivation is something that you have based on doing something that you like. So they always say if you do a job that you like, you're never going to work. Once you get into the real estate industry and you really like it and love it, then the motivation will be there. What happens is it gets difficult at times to accomplish the task because nobody wants to, put it this way, nobody wants to do the practice in order to get good. They just want good to be there.
Right.
All right. And so if I could give anybody a bit of advice would be do the work to get good, and then you'll be hugely successful. Practice your presentations, practice your, know your internet sites, know what's going on in communities, know everything you need to know before you go out there. Because in the world we live in now, people will not settle for anything less than an expert. The minute they ask you a question and you get that deer in the headlights look and don't know exactly what the answer is, there's a certain percentage of their trust and thought process going, I don't know if we can use this guy or this gal. I don't know if they're the right one for us. So you got to be good at it. And that means you have to practice, 200 swings on the practice mat before you go out and play golf. You're not just going to walk out there and drive the ball 250 yards down the fairway. Yeah. And that's the key to success in any industry, and especially in ours. And then study people. Know people, because if you have a good insight to people, whether they're audio, visual, kinesthetic, what their personality type might be, and how to deal with those folks. The biggest skill in our business, your business, is listening. You can, if you're a good listener, not a good talker, and you listen to what people have to say, they feel appreciated and they want to do business with you. So, but listening it's not because you're born with 2 ears, and I've got some pretty good sized ones. It doesn't make you a good listener. What makes you a good listener is you actually take courses in listening. You practice the skill. There's 3 levels of listening, and when you get to that, top level of active listening, you hear the emotional content behind what somebody's saying, not just the words they're saying, and then you become super at doing this type of business because they want to do business with you. So I would say practice all those skills, read something about real estate every day, and be an expert in what you do. And if you can convey that to a consumer, and meaningly, not by some trickery that, I'll just quote these key phrases and they'll think I'm really bright. But if they feel that you really know what you're doing, they're going to want to do business with you. So
It's very true.
do the work to get to where you want to go.
Yeah, very true. And that just goes with everything in life.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
put
true.
the work in, and you'll get it back. Just work hard.
No doubt about that. Yeah.
So,
All right, brought that right to. And I'd also like to thank the Academy.
John, we're so honored again to have you here. Where can people find you? Instagram, Facebook. Do you have these websites?
Yeah, I got all that stuff out there. Everybody
We'll
knows
plug it
where
in.
I am.
We'll
we'll put it in.
his name.
They can find me. If you're looking for a career in real estate, just give us a call and we'd be happy to talk to you.
Oh.
If you're in real estate and you feel that you might like to work with a company like ours, just give us a call.
Yep. What is the phone number at the office? 631-881-5160.
Is it?
I think so.
I think you're missing a 4 in there.
No, it's 631-881-5160. Also, if you're an agent and you want to compare how much money you'd make at Realty Connect opposed to where you're at now, you could go to www.calculateyourfuture.com, and it basically gives you the whole spread.
Oh, does it?
It does.
We have that?
Yes, I think.
You guys are convincing me. Maybe
Yes.
I'll make the switch. Who knows?
He's getting his license tomorrow.
It's a backup.
If rates keep going up, I guess I'm switching.
I'm tired of making these calls. 4%. Again, John, we're honored. Episode 3. This is $1 million episode. I hope you guys tuned in, took out a pen and paper, and took some notes because this is the man
this
himself.
was a pleasure. I had a good time talking to you guys. You're both super professionals, great gentlemen, and you're going to be hugely successful. Both of you are now, but it's going to grow.
I appreciate it so much.
We appreciate those words are priceless.
Yeah.
Just getting the stamp of approval from the man himself is big. So once again, Kevin Iglesias, Associate Broker, Realty Connect USA.
James Choudhury, Loan Officer, United Mortgage Corp.
John Fitzgerald, I did the valet parking here.
The man, the myth, the legend. John, thank you again. We're so honored. We got it.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much,
Thank
John.
you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate and Chill podcast with James Choudhury and Kevin Iglesias. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, share this with your friends, your enemies, your mother-in-law. No, seriously, this podcast is so fucking good, you might want to tell your ex.